Record. Hello, hello.
Yay!
So, I'm Mason. Oh,
And I'm Sam. And you know it's good when you hear Right Company.
Ooh, that was spot on. Good for us.
I can't tell. I'm just living in a haze.
Quick shout out to Sam's top, by the way. It's a really cute top, and it deserves some. I love the sleeves.
Thank you, thank you. I've decided that I'm going to cycle through my entire fancy wardrobe for this show. So you're going to start seeing church dresses. You're going to start seeing sweaters. Like, I am going through the wardrobe.
Oh man, it'd be fun if we had a budget and did themed, each episode we'd be we're gonna be cowboys, and next week we're gonna be witches. For no reason. We're just reviewing Boys Love, but dressed as a swamp witch. I don't know, I vibe with that.
That would be great. I mean, honestly and truly though, if we really wanted to theme it up to match with the Boys Love, all we need are plain white button-up shirts, because almost every Thailand Boys Love, we're at the university.
Yeah,
look at our white shirt.
No, we need a dark blue overshirt too.
That's right, because we're in the engineering group.
Yeah, and a gear.
But why the hell are we talking about Thailand when we need to be talking about Taiwan?
Yes. So today we're reviewing season 1, so basically the first 3 episodes of History 1. So History My Hero, History Obsessed, and History Stay Away From Me. And boy, I would like my time back. I'll just start with that.
I don't feel the same way, but that's okay. Now listen.
You like that?
Listen, guys. I just want you guys to know now that sometimes you enjoy things that you know are bad, but you enjoy them anyway because they're little nuggets that you can hang your hopes on. And when it comes to the History series, I actually have a real soft spot in my heart for History 1, and I enjoyed the rewatch immensely, especially because I watched it on Viki with the comments turned on. What a time. What a time. So I'm happy.
I just sat there so History 1, I was this was not great, but it was okay. I'm okay. You know, it was it's fine. It's just kind of like a rainy day. Oh, I'll just put something on and I'll watch something nice. I just want a cute Boys Love thing. That's that. And then History Stay Away From Me, I was I don't like this experience. And then Obsessed, I was I would like my time back. I'm gonna bill Sam for 2 hours of my time for making me sit through these.
And it's so funny because you have literally the opposite reaction of everyone else. Everyone thinks that the first one is the worst one, the second one is middling, and that the third one is the best. Now, granted, a lot of people who feel that way are basing it on skinship, which is a fallacy, and they need to check themselves.
Yeah, the third one definitely had the most skinship, but it was it was rapey skinship, so I'm not really a fan of that.
Yes. So to effectively talk about this and not kind of have all of our opinions all screwed up and you not know what the hell we're talking about, I think it makes more sense for us to go story arc by story arc by story arc, because it's just more digestible that way.
Yes.
So let's start with the first story arc, which is My Hero, which the song from My Hero gets heard throughout every single episode. You are my hero, you're my hero.
Very cute song, but they keep playing it at weird parts where you're why are they playing this now? This isn't fit.
All the time. All the time. So My Hero, I had to write down the names because, we're doing 3 different stories. There was no way I was going to remember this shit on my own. My Hero, the main characters are Mei Ying Shang, which in the subtitles, they call him Hero. That's why that arc is called My Hero, because 2 people want him to be theirs, I guess. So I'm just going to call him Hero because Yin Shang I'm going to forget. And then there is Hero's girlfriend, Lancy, and then Hero's guy friend, Gusirin. So My Hero is interesting because before I ever watched My Hero, everybody was like, this is a fraud, this is a fraud. It's not a boy's love because it's a guy with a girl, like the girl is in the guy's body.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, spoilers.
Oh yeah, we're gonna spoil everything. Trigger warning for sexual assault too for later on down the road.
And incest.
And incest. Why did you think it like that?
Because it's sexy incest. So the beginning of the show is Sidon getting his ass handed to him. Like, it's 3 guys on one. And they're beating him, and it looks like they're choking him. And at one point, they looked like they were getting ready to, like, suffocate him.
Yeah.
And so Hero shows up, scares them off, and as he is about to tend to Sidon, he gets a call saying that his girlfriend is in the hospital. So he shows up to the hospital, and his girlfriend is dead at the hospital. And there's a guy in a white robe who's like, get up, bitch. I know you're not sleeping. And it is Death, and Death has come to claim his girlfriend. But it turns out that she was not supposed to die. He got the people mixed up. It was actually supposed to be Sidon who was supposed to die. So he says, Death, I will give you 7 days to come back to life and make Hero fall in love with you. The reason why she can't go back to her own body is because her own body has been cremated. Like, super quick and in a hurry. So she comes back in the body of Siren, who apparently Siren had like an empty aura, which is why she was able to take over his body. And hijinks ensue. And I think the reason why I enjoy My Hero, despite what other people claim is not a boy's love, is because, plot twist, in the end, true love does conquer all, and a kiss does save someone's soul from death. But it happens to be Siren's soul because it turns out her boyfriend was gay and wanted the dick the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. So it wasn't boys' love. But between the first interactions between the newly revived Siren and My Hero is so much fun between then and the last scene because the girl's like a Looney Tunes character when she's in the boy's body.
Oh yeah, she like doesn't know how to pee. Like she just, it's weird.
Yeah, which, I mean, to be fair, I think if I woke up one day with a penis, I would have a little trouble peeing as well. Because like there's the whole aim thing that I've never had to deal with before. So yeah, it's hijinks. It's practically a comedy. But there's one particular scene that I wish that somebody would put in a Thai Boys Love so bad because it is everything, and it is the water bottle scene. So there's a scene where My Hero and Sidon are exercising, I guess. I don't know what the hell's going on. But they go to like a lakeside and sit down, and Hero pulls out a bottle of water, a regular sized bottle of water. And he takes a drink, passes it to Siren. Siren takes a drink, passes it back to him. And it becomes this like shot ping pong of them sharing this bottle of water. And like when Siren is drinking this bottle of water, like it's putting the entire mouth of the bottle of water between his lips like he's filleting the water, right? And apparently Hero gets really hot about that. They finish off the water. He goes to his bag and pulls out a huge fucking 2 liter of water. Because I guess, you know, he was ready to continue swapping water, but here comes Siren's friend like, oh, look at this video about this hamster that records your voice. But I just loved that scene so much because I thought it was so funny and so cute at the same time. But yeah, I love that scene.
I went on my phone during that scene. It started off slow and like the shots were not quick enough, and it just like the pacing was this, and I was like, all right, this scene is a bust. I'm just gonna go on Twitter.
You totally missed out. When he pulled out that 2 liter, I was giggling so hard. Like, this boy is really about these indirect kisses. So I loved it. I thought it was great.
It's this was definitely the best one. It was definitely the most fun, and it at least had like a tone, and like it had a goal. I feel like the other ones we'll get into it didn't really have like a set tone or goal, but this one was like it kind of knew what it was gonna be. It was fun. It was quirky. It was maybe not the greatest thing. And it does have, like, interesting implications, but, like, it's whatever. It was fun, kind of a thing. I will say my notes for this are not great. My first note is, this is ... a choice. So that must have been from the first scene. Oh yeah, this is something that isn't all of them, but it starts in this one, is these all have a tone problem. Every single one of these shows is like a weird tone problem where the very first scene is super dramatic. You're like, oh, he's getting his ass beat. Oh, she's dead. Oh my God. It's like a lot. And then like the very next scene is like, ba. And you're like, wait, no.
A dick?
Yeah, you're like, wait a sec. Bring it back. So
DJ,
I don't
bring
like,
it back to 180.
yeah, bring it back to 140. Na, 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 na. Oh, wrong song. Oh my God, I sang Genie and stuff. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Yeah, there's like a tone problem with all of these. That was really distracting.
One thing that Mason brought up is, does Lancy have anybody who misses her?
Yeah, because like she dies, and then like the next day, they're at school, and everyone's just kind of like fine with it. Like, he lost his girlfriend. Even if he was gay and like this other boy, you'd think he'd be sad that someone he knew had just tragically died. Like, at least he'd be like shooken up, like, oh my God, like, she wasn't my favorite person, but damn, like, she's gone,
Yeah, and that was one thing that I think they could have done a better job with that first one, is that the time frame. We're assuming that she dies, and 7 days from her death is the deadline for her to get this kiss.
Yeah.
So within 7 days, not only does he not want to talk about his girlfriend who just dies, but he is now like, I am in love with this man and have always been in love with this man. And it's just like, I don't think so. Also, we never understand how Sidon ended up living with Hero. Because it's never established that they were roommates before, and all of the scenes show him and his girlfriend in the apartment. So how did Siren end up living with him?
Yeah, I don't know. He just like was at the apartment, and it was like, I guess I'll take. Well, because remember, Siren fell and bumped his head, and like Loki died, and then like Hero catches him, but like it's not like in Obsession where he gets injured and he feels, and it's because of another person, It's like, oh, he got injured on himself, and then Hero just happened to catch him, and then now they're waking up. And that's a problem with this fucking, all three of them, like, shit just kind of happens with no explanation. You're like, no, wait, I need a reasonable explanation for this. Like, please, like, why are they living together? Why?
Yeah, we have no clue at all.
What happened to the glasses? A mystery, like, Goosey Rand wears glasses, and he's like a dork, and then the moment she takes his body, he wears no glasses and has a different haircut.
Yeah.
And you're like, I don't think that's how that should work. Why does he not need glasses?
It's a little different. It catches you off guard. But I still, like I said, I love this one, and I have really strong positive feelings for it, especially because I think what I enjoyed about it too is they have this conversation, and it's a bad conversation, and it's not a bad conversation in terms of like things are said that are awful. It's more like there's a lot of confusing things going on in this conversation that if you were looking at it from the outside, like the audience, it makes no fucking sense. But they have the conversation over breakfast when Hero brings out the little hamster, and once he says, oh, I wouldn't want my son to be gay because it'd be so hard, it'd be such a challenge, all this other stuff. Now, I didn't find the conversation to be upfront offensive. I found the conversation to be disheartening. I felt like Hero listening to it, like, oh shit, that sounds awful, because it sounds like you're super biased. But she doesn't say like, being gay is wrong. She talks about how hard it would be to be in society if you are gay, right? Mm-hmm. But the thing is, she's on a mission in 7 days to get this man to kiss her.
Right. So
having
that?
Yeah, why would you say something that would make it seem like there's something weird or bad about being gay when you're trying to get this gay kiss?
And it comes out of nowhere. Like, she just says it, unprompted. No one asked you.
No, like, he was looking at some article about something on his phone, and I guess that's what the article was. Yes, the article was gays will have sex at least 1,000 times in their life or have 1,000 sexual partners. And that's where the conversation starts. And it's just like, this is such a weird way to open this conversation. This is such a weird way to introduce conflict. And then as she's responding to him, it's like she assumes that he knows that she's Lancy on the inside. And of course he has no fucking clue, because he's probably been in love with Siren for a while and just couldn't acknowledge it. So right. It was good that they had the conversation in order for him to, like, bloom into the gay he was always meant to be. But that conversation was so crazy. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, why did you do it like this? It could have been done in a totally different way and still worked out.
Yeah. I also like that it does really feel like Hiro fell in love with Siren, not Lee-san as Siren. Does that make sense? Like, yeah. I think one of the things that they did a good job was they had him, they established that these two definitely knew each other before she passed, but there were feelings before she passed, and, like, they had Siren's, like, journals from when he was himself, and, like, Hiro read them, and he was like, and that was kind of like the final, like, click of, okay, yeah, I really like this guy. I'm gonna go make out with him.
Yes.
You know, in daylight. I also wish that they kind of were more specific on the 7 days, because is it like, was it gonna be, you know, the time of death? So was it, like, in the morning? Was it gonna be at night? Like, when it got to day 7, I was kind of like, I don't know how long, like, is this gonna be, like, a sunset thing, and, like, as dusk falls, she, like, evaporates or something. I just, yeah. Like, if you're gonna have a ticking time, like, you need something a bit more specific, like, okay, she died at 12:43. So at 12:43, that's, like, her time is up, and, like, we need that. That's just, like, a little thing. So I was kind of like, how much time does she have left? It's, like, the last day, but is it, like, you know, 9 a.m. or is it, like, 9 p.m.?
Yeah, the other thing that I guess, again, could tighten up the story a little bit is what happened to Siren while she was gone, and also, like, if Lancy being in Siren's body helped to open up Hiro's eyes to the fact that he liked Siren's personality prior to his death is so wildly different from Lancy's personality that I wonder if when they go back to living life together, will he be like, I actually don't really like this guy because he's kind of depressing. Because they're complete opposites in terms of personality. Like, she's very much I'm going to strangle you with my love type, and he's more of like, I just want to sit on the sidelines and see if you enjoy this lunch I've been secretly making for you.
Right.
So,
yeah. Again,
I'm not sure how that hurdle's going to be.
This episode's got really weird implications, so. Yeah,
it does. I'm excited to see what happens, but can we talk about Hiro's ass? Just real quick before we move on.
Oh my God, the scenes where he was like in, like, the tight athletic shorts, and I'm like, he has some thick thighs.
Baked up.
I was like, thank you, director. You're looking out.
Right? They always made sure he came through with the tightest of fits, and I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and the kid that plays Siren, tell me if you see it. He kind of looks like a softer, prettier version of Jackson Wang.
Yeah, I see that. Because I was watching it and I was like, what does he look like? Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So, rating this episode, to be fair, I rated it a 6. And I rated it a 6 because I think that the kernels of something good were there, and there were some nice moments, some very funny moments, but having all these questions about kind of what established the timeline, what happens after this kiss, will they still be able to be together, how'd they end up living together, all that kind of unanswered stuff takes away in the score for me.
Yeah, I'm giving it a 5. It was average at best.
All right, well then it gets an average of 5.5. There's a 5 here, 6 there. There you go, meet in the middle. That's what I'm going to rate it on my drama list. Okay. So the next story is Stay Away From Me. And our main characters here are Chang Ching, Feng He, and Ming Ming. So Chang Ching is the celebrity. Feng He is the not celebrity. And Ming Ming is an evil bitch. So let's talk about it.
All right, I have qualms with all right, opening scene. Why? So, like, the opening scene is, okay, let's just lay down the plot. So, Chang Ching is a celebrity. What type of celebrity? Is he a singer? Is he an actor? We don't know. They don't tell us.
He's a Jackson. No, he's a Lay. That's what he is. He's a Lay. Like Lay from XO, where he does a lot of acting and singing. Yeah, he's a Lay.
They really just say, oh, the artist, Chang Ching. And I'm like, get over yourself. Anyways. Sorry, I have a bone to pick with this episode. So he is like a celebrity. Everyone thinks he's like the fucking hottest thing on earth. And then his dad marries main character's mom. And they have to start living together. The parents are off somewhere, some way in a different house, and they go to the same school, but they're not living in the same apartment. And they just kind of don't get along. You know, Ching Ching wants everything done for him. You know, it's just kind of sloppy, lazy, like expects to be pampered. And the main character is like, I'm not your maid. Like, fuck off.
Which is fair.
It's fair. And man, okay, so this episode starts with main character's like in a parking garage, standing by a car, and then the famous guy runs, and there's like a horde of girls chasing him, and then they both start running away from the girls, and then they hide in like a stairwell, and Chang Ching is like, haha, I'm gonna dress you up like me, good luck. And then he he gives him like his jacket, his hat, and his sunglasses. And the main character's like, oh, you're that famous person. And it's like vague that he's just like a famous person. Mm-hmm. And then that scene ends. And then we cut and it's like, how much time has passed? I don't know. Could have been a year. Could have been a day. No fucking clue. And then so time has passed. Here's a knock on the door. And it's the famous guy. And I thought, oh, famous guy's here to get back his jacket, right? That's probably an expensive jacket. Nope. He's living with him. Their parents got married. And I was like, this was not established. And I was just kind of like, what? And that's kind of the tone of this whole thing. It's like a thing would happen and I'd be like, what? Huh? Why? And then like main character has this girl, he has like a friend, her name is Ming Ming, you said?
Yes.
And she's just a fujoshi, and she's like, oh my god, your new stepbrother. Oh my god, my box that this is sitting on is like sinking. Sorry. Anyways.
You're this famous guy. Oh my god, your brother is a hottie.
Yeah, oh my god. And it's like, wait, if they're best friends, how did she not know that his parents were getting married? Like, again, why, like, wouldn't he have told her, like, oh yeah, my parents are getting married and, you know, I have to live with my, you know, new stepbrother. Like, I was like, what? Okay. And then she starts writing fan fiction about them. And it's like, yeah, it's like in Why Are You? And you're like, this is weird. Stop writing smut about your best friend. That shit's fucked up, Ming Ming. And then Ming Ming, like, writes a love letter in the main character's name and tells the main character, hey, give this note to Chang Ching. And then Chang Ching reads it and he's like, oh my god, yes, I love you too, main character. The main character's like, I didn't write that note, Ming Ming did. And then Ming Ming was like, oop, I stepped in where I shouldn't have, and I'm sorry. And it's like, no, fuck you, Ming Ming. You done fucked up. That was dumb. Why did you even do that? And then the filmmaking was bad. Like, there would be scenes that just lasted, like, I was trying to think, if I were to cut something, what would I cut? And I would cut all of it, because the whole plot, the whole thing was just, it's just fat. Like, nothing made sense. The plot was fucking wisp thin. Like, oh my God, it's gone. Like, the plot, it just doesn't exist. And I was like, it doesn't even have like a tone. It's not like a comedy or a drama. It's just a flat line. It's just a flat line. And I longed for death. I was like, Lord, I'm waiting. Like, that shit was so bad, Sam. I'm sorry. Fuck that. Fuck that episode. I hated it. And then when it ended, okay, here's the ending scene. So, main character realizes his feelings for his stepbrother. And he goes to a park, a random location, and then for some reason, he's waiting, and then suddenly Chang Ching shows up, and you're like, why is he here? What was he doing here? And then they sit on a grassy knoll and like confess their feelings. And I was like, why this location? Like, it's just like they just showed up at a random location that was not established before. It was just this random outdoor place. Did he text him, hey, meet me here? How did he know he was going to be there? Was he filming something there? I don't know.
Actually, that location is the same place he was filming all of his outdoor stuff, so I think that's why they chose that location, because it was that same park where he's been filming this whole time.
Sure.
Yeah.
But then why did they make it out in front of camera crew? I just have questions. It wasn't good. It was not good. Fucking
I feel differently. I really enjoyed this one. Oh my gosh. I did. I think that the actor who plays Fangy was not as emotive as I would have liked, but I feel like that was an acting choice, that he was acting like somebody who just doesn't have the emotional range. But I loved the guy who played Chang Ching. I thought that he was so good, and I loved his look. Like, his look was very like early EXO.
Yeah.
And so I enjoyed that. I think that they should have given him a few more costume options, because him with that denim jacket and that red plaid shirt, we saw that way too many times.
Oh yeah. They all like they just rewore the same wardrobe like a cartoon.
Yeah, it was very, very Wile E. Coyote, but I enjoyed it from an acting point of view, because I really liked the guy who played Ching Chang. Meng Meng is a bitch. I hated that she did that. I felt like she needed more repercussions for what she did. Mm-hmm. Also, like, if it was me and my friend said, here, I need you to give this letter and this candy to your brother because I have a crush on him, but don't open the letter, because I'm a nosy bitch, I would have opened the letter. He wouldn't have just got it. Not only that, but like, when they're in that apartment and he hands it over, he doesn't say, this is from Meng Meng. When he says, what is this for? He says, check it out for yourself.
Uh-huh.
And it's like, at that point, I almost felt like, well, maybe the reason why he's not saying it's from Meng Meng is because he has secret feelings for his brother and he's jealous because his friend's trying to creep in. But but I still would have said, this is from Meng Meng.
Yeah. This thing just wasn't a thought out piece. Like, okay, this is like a very small qualm, but I think it is emblematic of the rest of this episode. So, the first morning after Chang Ching moves in, Chang Ching is sleeping on the couch. And I thought that was weird because they established his character as being like, oh, I'm someone that, I get everything that I want. I am pampered. I need my beauty sleep. So I found it weird that he was sleeping on the couch. I thought like it would have just been better if he was sleeping on the bed and then the main character was on the couch, just because that would make more sense as from like a character perspective. And it was like a little thing like that. It's just emblematic of like the whole episode was just not thought through. Like, honestly, Main character, what was his personality? I don't really know. I don't know.
No, he doesn't have, that's why I said I feel like it was a choice because there was room for him to have more of a personality. He just never really went through with it. But I also feel like maybe that is because he is playing a character in a boys' love. Follow me on the rationale. There have been times when I've been reading manga because I've recently gotten into reading a lot of stuff online where I don't get the attraction between the seme and the uke. Like, it just doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the uke shows up and they're timid and they're scared and it just turns on the semi to no end. And they just like, I love the fact that you're scared of life.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I was watching him play this character who seems to me to have no personality other than that they're hardworking and diligent, I'm like, okay, maybe that's what this is. Maybe this is just like reading a manga or a manhwa where the attraction is that you're just so white bread.
Right.
And I think it doesn't translate as well to the screen. And we've talked about that before because we talked about that with I Can Hear the Sunspots.
Yeah.
Where like certain things read on the page very differently than they play out in live action. And this was one of those moments where I'm like, you should have given him more. He needed to have something else in order to make this thing work. But what I did appreciate was how many just like endearing heart eyes Ching Chang made over the course of the show. And I think, again, that's probably the reason why I like this so much. I think the guy who plays him, Duke Wu, he did a really good job of making his feelings bloom.
Yeah, I thought he was really good. I think across the board, the lead actors in all three were very good. It was just not written well.
Yeah, I think that definitely was room for improvement. They reused a lot of the same set places, a lot of the same clothes, and it was very obvious, and it made it feel kind of unrealistic because, like, here you have a guy who's supposedly a superstar, and he's wearing the same clothes, like, days at a time. Right. And it just doesn't make any sense.
Right.
Yeah, so gripes, for sure, but again, I just really enjoyed the acting on Ching Ching's part, and it made me want to watch it. Also, incest. So I didn't understand this, and you didn't bring it up, but I feel like you feel like I feel. How would you not know that this was your stepbrother? Were you not invited to your parents' wedding? Did the families not introduce each other? How would your mom be sure that you would even know who your stepbrother was when he showed up at the door if y'all had never met each other before or ever said the man's name? At some point, your mother should have said, oh, well, you know, my new husband, his son is a really famous actor, singer type dude.
Yeah, again, that's like a big plot hole.
Huge plot hole.
Yeah.
Because obviously this,
like his ass.
But yeah, like obviously this kid is famous enough for Feng He to know who he is on sight.
Yeah.
Like, that's how big he is. And he's big enough to be harassed in school by people who want his autograph. So like he's famous, right? So why wouldn't his mother say, you know, I'm having your stepbrother live with you because he's really famous and he needs to be around family because me and his dad are going off on our honeymoon and he just doesn't have a lot of folks in his circle because of his fame. Something like that would have, at least at the minimum, put a button on that hole. Mm-hmm. But they didn't do that. And so it is frustrating that you have these things that just, it's never addressed. People just assume, oh, well, life goes on. Mm-hmm. But it also is the question of, we never knew each other. Prior to me moving into your home, I never knew you. I never met you before. Our parents got together as we are both adults. Is it incest for me to like you? Because he asked about that. That is a plot point. It is not glazed over. Right. In fact, that is Feng He's main argument is, you are my brother. I cannot be in a relationship with you when our parents are fucking.
Yeah.
And Ching Ching is like, I don't know you. You don't know me. We're just two dudes who happen to like each other. I don't see what the problem is here. And I found myself thinking, I see where you're coming from.
Yeah. I think it's like a story, I'm like okay with it. I think if it was real life and my friend was like, yeah, I'm fucking my stepbrother, and it was this scenario, I'd be a little bit like, I'd give my friend the one over for sure. I'd be like, okay.
Yeah, like, you're sick, right?
Yeah.
But what I see is potential. And this is where I find value in this. We're going to eventually have to do Love by Chance season 2.
Mm-hmm.
We're just gonna. And a situation like Tar and Tum, where the incest is there, their incest to me feels like it comes from a place of knowing each other for a very long time.
Yeah, theirs is worse.
Yeah, much worse. But I think that having a boys love series, if approached correctly, that talked about where is the line between incest and us falling in love, if done correctly and addressed under certain circumstance, could be a very interesting watch.
Yeah. This one
was
well done.
I realized that this was not the best way to do it, but I feel like this was an interesting topic to broach. Yeah. It is. You don't normally see this very often in live action boys love. Well, there is one other live action boys love movie that we've not watched together, but we may watch someday, and it's My Bromance, and it has Fluke from Red Wine and the Dark Knight.
Yeah, and I think that'd be a good one too, because I think they're making another one.
Yeah, supposedly they're making another one, and the other lead from that boys love is a director, and apparently he's a pretty competent boys love director. So it'll be neat to see that and review it. Yeah, but anyway, I think that is something to broach. Like, if we never knew each other prior to now and we didn't grow up together, is there really anything wrong with what we're doing?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So, I give this one a 6.5.
I, in my rage, said a 2, but I'm going to bump it to a 3.
Woo! Sexy. All right, so I think that puts us at a 4.5. Good job. So now we're going to talk about Obsessed. I'm going to give the character rundown. So the lead character, who is kind of the person that the entire story circles around, is Xiao Yi Chen. We're just going to call him Yi Chen for short. And his love interest is Zhang Jintang. So I'm going to just call him Jintang because I want to shorten that. So we've got Yi Chen and Jintang are two leads. And then there's a secondary couple that we don't need to know them by name, but we'll talk about them briefly. So I'm just saying that, like,
you're
really
right.
And truly.
Like.
So the story starts out with Jintang sitting at a table with this girl and, like, we're getting married. And his boyfriend is sitting across from the table from him. They're in, I'm assuming, a public cafe. And he is just falling apart. He's like, may you love me. And just runs out the cafe. Actually, he throws a glass down on the ground, breaks it. There's no one in this cafe. Because if this was real life, somebody would jump like, oh, the fuck? Anyway, runs out the cafe. Jitang runs after him, and he's just like, you told me you'd love me forever. I love you, daddy. And runs off and gets hit by a car. Let me tell you something, history. You set an awful precedent in Obsessed with the whole car accident thing. I cannot believe your funky ass brought it back for Bank Our Days Count. I'm very pressed about the car accident thing because you ruined our lives.
Triggered. Like.
Hey, Mason gave you the trigger warning at the beginning of the episode. For some reason, when it comes to Taiwanese boys love, gays and cars do not mix.
Yeah.
Something bad happened. So, gets hit by this car, and Yi-Chin wakes up 9 years before that day to a time before he ever met Jintang. And he does the thing that, honestly, if this was better written and, like, better worked out, brilliant first move. I'm just going to avoid this guy. I'm not going to let him break my heart. I'm never going to meet him in the first place. I'm done having any feelings for this person. Bitch, I'm brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And so goes about that in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Then I don't know if it's due to his Satan worshiping that he was able to go back in time in the first place, but he proceeds to draw this like sacrificial pentagon-y circle on the ground to burn all of these papers that he hand drew about Jintang, because new hairstyle, new day, new number, who dis. And it's just like, was the pentagon necessary? You spent a lot of time drawing the sacrificial circle in the basketball court. What the fuck was that about?
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, as with all pacts with the devil, it never turns out the way you think it will. And a few of the papers fly off and land in the hands of Jintang's friend. And it begins Jintang's obsessed with Yi-Chen. And somehow or another, even though he's been given the chance to go back in time, they are still inextricably linked from one another.
Mm-hmm.
Mason, let them know why you have a problem with this.
It's all bad. Honestly, okay. Ji Chang, is that his name?
Jintang.
Jintang. Trigger warning, Jintang gets really rapey, and it's really uncomfortable. Like, so basically, like, Yi Chen spends a lot of time dodging him, like not wanting to see him, and then Jintang weasels his way, literally buys his way into the after-school club at the college that Yi Chen is a part of. And they're doing like they're setting up for like a camp retreat. I don't know. He joins the club and they literally cut to them pitching tents. And you're like, why? How did we get here?
Pitching tents. High five.
And Jintang literally picks him up and like throws him into his tent and starts like furiously like making out with him and like unbuttoning his pants, and just it gets weird and you're like, ugh. Yeah, so they're making out and it gets rapey there, and then Yi Chen pushes him off, runs away, and then Ji Tang is running after him. He's like, wait. And then it's like, and then he goes, wait. And he like grabs him, catches up, grabs him, and then turns. And then they're tumbling down a hill. And I, as Sam would say, guffawed. It was stupid. And they're tumbling down a hill. And I'm like, if one of them fucking dies because they tumbled down a hill, I'm turning this off. And then they're tumbling down the hill, and Ji Tang smacks his head against a tree and starts bleeding out. And I just sat there giggling. I was also not sober. But listen, after the second one, I was like, I am not consuming this third one in any like proper state of mind. It's not allowed. That second one was trash. And then Yi Chen, basically, so Jintang survives. He lives. And then Yi Chen, you know, who is so thankful for Jintang for saving him from possibly stumbling down a hill. That didn't even seem that steep, by the by. It literally just looked like, oh shit, there's a normal ass hill there. Anyways, he's like, oh, he saved my life. He's gonna stay with me and I'll take care of him. And then Jintang is out here faking amnesia, and
Come from telenovelas.
he's out here faking the amnesia, and then they're kind of getting flirty, and they're really starting to bond more. And then Jintang they're sitting down, laying around outside. I don't know, they do that thing that they do in Boys Loves that no one ever does IRL, where it's like they're sitting, under a tree, reading and snuggling. Like, no one's ever done that. Maybe in the 1700s, you know, but no one, this was placed in like 2017. Like, no one in 2017 is out here like snuggling, you know. Anyways, besides the point. And then Jintang just starts making out with him, and he's like, "You like me, right?" And then Yi Chen's like, "Ah!" And then he pushes him away again and runs away. And then finally, Yi Chen is talking with his friend, and his friend's like, you know, sometimes, you know, the dick calls you, and you just gotta accept the call of the D, because his friend is in the other ship that came out of nowhere and was nothing and is nothing, was stupid.
We'll talk about it. I promise we'll talk about it.
And then he's like, okay, I'm gonna tell Jintang that I really like him. So he runs and he finds Jintang, but Jintang is talking to a woman. And the woman is like the girl that he eventually marries at the very beginning. It's her, but when they're in college. And she's like, oh, why did you fake your amnesia? Like, blah, 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 blah. Like, you shouldn't have done that. And Yi Chen is hearing every word. And then Jintang is like, fuck you, bitch, and literally grabs her by the throat. And you're like, oh my God.
He looks like he's about to choke her out. I was actually legitimately scared for homegirl.
Oh, yeah. No. So he is choking her out, and you're like, oh. And then, you know, so while he's choking her, you know, Yi Chen's in the back just like, and you're like, go help her. But he doesn't. And then, you know, Jintang turns around, and Yi Chen's there. And then he's like, no, wait. And then they start running away together. And then Jintang's friend pops out from behind a tree and is like, oh, so this was your master plan to like get them back together. And like, you know, you just didn't, she was like, oh, I organized this meetup because I didn't want Yi Chen to be lied to anymore. I thought what Jintang was doing was really rude and fake. And it's like, I mean, you're right, but also this is fucking wild, man. And she literally just delivers her master plan, and it like almost all of this takes place in one shot, and it's the longest, most egregious shot of the entire fucking film. It's not even a good shot, but it's just this one three-way shot. Oh my God. I don't know who was like, the entire time of this, I was like, oh my God, we need to cut to a close-up, cut to like someone's hand fidgeting, like just cut. The rhythm of this is like stagnant. This is an intense scene, and it's just like one stagnant shot the whole time. Someone cut. Anyways, oh my God, I clearly have a bone to pick with this one too. I'm sorry, I'm like so riled up this week about these.
A bone.
A bone?
I'm sorry, I'm still stuck on tints.
Tints? Oh my God.
I'm still all about dick innuendo, sorry.
Anyways, so like Yi Chen and Jintang run back to Yi Chen's house, and then he just like pins him to the bed and starts like low-key sexually assaulting him. And it's real wild. And I honestly forgot how they even resolved them fighting. I like don't even remember.
They resolved it with fucking. Like seriously, that's how that resolved. It resolved with fucking, because the next scene is the faux funeral scene, and then he wakes up and is like, yeah, I had this crazy dream that you died, and like it was really weird because like I was with some chick. It was so bizarre.
Yeah, oh my God, I remember how they resolved it. They have this really long scene where Jintang is pinning Yi Chen to the bed, and it's this like, again, not a great shot that lasts way too long of like Yi Chen just like crying or Jintang just crying and sobbing on top of him about his obsession. And you're like, oh my God, this man is insane. Like, you need to abort mission.
That's why it's called Obsessed.
Yeah, I know, but it's not hot. It's not cute. It's real weird. And then, you know, they fuck in the end, and they're like, bada bing, bada boom, it's whatever. You know, because he kind of realization.
You forgot to mention the witch.
There's a witch?
Yes! Homegirl who was the fake bride / I'm gonna out you for faking amnesia. Oh, yeah. She's a fucking witch.
Yeah, that was really weird because they insinuated that in a very weird way. Yeah. So okay, we're in the flash. So we're back in time, and it's after Yi Chen has died in like the original timeline. So there's 2 timelines. In the original timeline, he is dead, and Jin Tang has a box of, I don't know.
Cremated remains.
But that doesn't make sense because they literally stated that they buried him.
Yes, and he dug him up and had him cremated.
Oh, that didn't come across. I was just
yeah,
like...
he said, you dug up his grave. Somebody said it. I don't remember which character.
Yeah.
No, he said it when he woke up. When he woke up from the dream, he's like, yeah,
right.
I had a dream that, like, you died and I dug up your grave.
Yeah. So anyways, so after he puts his stuff in the lake of meaningless nothing, they have never been there. We have never seen this lake. No one knows what this lake is.
Also, he touched those remains with his bare fucking hands.
And then he licked them afterwards.
Ooh, yes! Don't do that! Don't do that! That's an episode of My Strange Addiction.
I know! Ooh, she's so weird.
What did she do when her husband ran out? Like, what is her life now?
Go
around, like, stealing random ashes to eat?
Waiting for mama to die? Like, I don't know.
Oh.
Anyways.
Okay.
So after, like, they're all just, so, like, all of the main cast is just standing at this lake sobbing, and then it cuts to the only girl character, and she's just doing this. And then nothing. And you're like, I guess she's a witch? I guess. Again, it's not explained.
Not at all.
No more clues other than her going, which is weird. And you're like, I guess that's witchy, but like, Sam, this wasn't good.
Okay, so let me tell you why this was worth watching to me. I agree that, like, everything that we've ever said is problematic about relationships and rapey shit, all here. It's all here. The only thing that's not here is, like, drugging people or taking advantage of somebody when they're drunk, but for the most part, everything is here. But I felt like this was a really good example of how the community that watches Boys Love is extremely divided. So again, like I said, I watched this on Viki with the timed comments on. And if you watch those timed comments, it was a shit show. It made it 1,000 times more entertaining to watch. I highly recommend it to anybody out there trying to figure out where to watch it at. But there's one camp of people that during the rapey scenes were like, this shit is rapey. I don't like this. Fuck that guy. Like, when they had the tent scene, after they fell down the hill, there was a bunch of comments like, good riddance, I hope that bitch dies for trying to rape you. Then there was a whole other team of them like, guys, it's just a story, and he likes it anyway, and it's just, he wasn't raping him. He was just overcome with emotions because he has so much love for him. And I was like, I get it. This was not written for gay audiences. This was written specifically for Fujoshis. Yeah. And pulling that back around, that's absolutely what Stay Away From Me was written for. Like, the more you look at it, season 1 of History, the whole season was absolutely written for girls.
Yeah, it was a Fujoshi season.
And that is why I see the value in going back and watching these things. Because if any series in the history of series has ever had a fucking evolution and a come up and a change in audience direction, it absolutely is the History series.
I'm shocked. I was watching this and I was like, I cannot believe this spawned Trapped and Make Our Days Counts, 2 of the best boys' loves out there.
Like, easily 1s and 2s. Like, yeah. They're that close to the line.
Also, okay, this is not to do with the Fujoshi thing, but a separate topic. One thing all 3 had in common, which bothered me, was I understand that a lot of, like, Asian media has slower pacing. However, these had a lot of very long scenes that kind of meant nothing. Some examples in Obsessed. There's literally a scene where it's towards back half, and it's Jin Tang sitting reading a book outside, and Yi Chen is just staring at him.
Yes, well, you hear history in the background.
Yeah, the music's playing, like, this music doesn't fit. Also, this this is like, why is he not also reading? Like, why is he just staring at him? And it lasts like a minute. It's just this like slow pan of like nothing. And it's just empty. I'm like, why? Why did they do that? And then there's a scene where Yi Chen was collecting books or something. And then he's like, finishes his task for the club. So he takes a nap while he's waiting for his friend. And Jin Tang, like, is in the library too, and he just like sits by him and just like it lasts and then he like puts his arm around him but doesn't actually put his arm around him, and then homegirl's behind him like, you know, tapping her feet, thump thump thump, she's all mad, and you're like, wait, why? What? This is all happening. None of this scene is bad and makes no sense, and it takes forever to get through. It's like 2 minutes of him just staring at him. Like, we just spent 2 minutes on this. You guys have an hour and 10 minutes to tell a whole story. You have got to shore this up. You've got to kill your babies, as they say in animation. We always say, kill your babies. Even if it's a funny joke, sometimes things got to be cut for time. You know, and it sucks. And it's happened to me a lot, where I'll be like, that was a good joke, or that was a funny visual gag that I drew in, and it just gets cut for time. And you know what? You don't get to see anything. You just got to take it, because it's for the better. It betters the show as a whole, and like they just needed to kill some babies. They needed to chop some shit up.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, like, the character of Jin Tang is one of the scariest main characters who's a romantic lead in a boys' love ever. And he is scary not just because of like the pseudo rapey tent scene, but also like the fake amnesia and his anger issues, and like at the end of it, it was very hard to see this as a romantic, happy ending, because this is a person who will kill you. And he says as much. When they're on the bed after he finds out that he's been lying about amnesia, he's like, I will kill you instead of letting you be with anyone but me. He says that. It's not an innuendo. It is like, I will kill you if you are not with me.
Yep.
And it's just, it is like, what? To think that this is the same team that wrote Hao Ting and Shigu. The fuck? First of all, kudos to you for the evolution in mindsets, but also, how? What school did you go to? What media did you watch? What changed your mind?
I don't know. So
but yeah, it was.
What is your rating for Obsessed?
Okay, so Obsessed, I hate to say this, I give it a smooth 6.5. Let me tell you, as much as the lead character was troubling and this was not a good relationship by any stretch of the imagination, they did the thing that Tharn Type did that I absolutely hate. They gave me some chemistry. They gave me a little something that made me want to look at them. And that was important. I did laugh at the fact that the main actor had his own real name tattooed on his chest. That was hilarious. But yeah, they gave me something.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could transplant those actors into a better plot and a better show, I absolutely would, because I would love to see them on screen together again.
They're talented. They have good chemistry, and they were cute. I agree.
Yeah. So for that, but the rest of the story, no. Oh, and also secondary couple. Let's talk about that, because I said we would. Your friend Baomi, whatever. I love the fact that his entire destiny changed once he got a hold of the dick.
Yeah. And that's the only reason that plotline is there, is to really establish that the timeline has changed in a significant way. That's the only reason that's there.
And that is the smartest thing that they did with this.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of stuff that they didn't spell out, they didn't tell you, but by making it to where, like, in the future, you have a wife and 6 kids, it's like, thank you. This explains that things have changed. It's not going to end the same. You're not going to get hit by a car in the future.
Right.
Yeah, so it was a very subtle way of doing it, but also, like, a very hit you over the head way, because, like, when we first find out that those two have a relationship, they're literally on the floor in a sleeping bag, butt naked, about to get it in a second time.
Yeah. Comes out of nowhere. Oh.
Not established at all. Not established at all. So yeah, 6.5. And I know that's really shitty of me because I do not think that Obsessed is better than My Hero or better than Stay Away From Me, but I think that the interactions between the two leads were better, like acting wise, than the other two.
Yeah.
I felt like in the other two, one actor was clearly carrying the weight of the series.
Mm-hmm. Right. I'm gonna give this one a 3.
You know what? That's okay, because you gave Stay Away From Me a 3. I feel like in this case, you need to give Stay Away From Me a 4.
No, I think they both suck.
Okay.
And they both also have the same problem of like even the dramatic scenes aren't that dramatic, and it's like this middling, like just flat line of like, you know, your plot development is usually like up and then down and then up and then climax and then back down. But this was just like,
like a heartbeat.
it's over. No, fuck off with that. No. It is a dying heartbeat. It's like,
somebody in the comment section said this. Tell me if you agree. Does the lead actor from Obsessed, the Yi-Chin, does he give you like big Infinite from Sungjae tease?
I know nothing about no one from Infinite.
Okay, well then it's not gonna hit. But there's a member of Infinite named Sungjae, and definitely I felt a very similar energy. A very similar energy.
I thought Jintang kind of reminded me of Key.
Really?
Yeah, I thought they kind of looked a little bit similar, and I thought they had that similar, like, cocky confidence.
I mean, I feel like Key is much prettier, so maybe that's where I'm not seeing it as much. So that's probably why I'm not catching it. Also, Key's a lot, like, wafier in body build. Like,
yeah, I'm just saying.
Yeah. Yeah, but you're talking about face. I get that. Yeah, and like the Sungjae comparison, again, if you don't know Infinite, I would get why you wouldn't get that. But like, okay, guys, don't be mad at me in the comments. I'm gonna say something really wild. Sungjae is one of like our unofficial official gays in K-pop, and so like him, Key, Jo Kwon, they occupy a space. Kevin from UKISS, they occupy a space. Mm-hmm. And very much the energy I was getting from Yi-Chin was Sungjae from Infinite Vibes.
Okay.
So there you go. But anyway, thank you guys for allowing me to indulge in this, because I know that this was a painful watch for all of you out there. But I promise you, when we get to History 2, things get markedly better. And by the time we get to Trapped and Make Our Days Count, we're talking about like top tier boys. Yeah, so this is a journey of evolution, if you will. This is not merely about, you know, this story for this story's sake, but also to see like if you nurture a team, if you nurture a project, who knows where you'll go.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
These would be good. I feel like season 1 would be good if we ever did like a special episode where we like live watched an episode. This would be a good one to like talk at, and like if we did like another drinking one, these would be perfect for that.
Oh, absolutely. Like Obsessed, if we're doing a drinking party and it's like drink every single time Jitang lifts his eyebrow, we would be dead of alcohol poisoning.
The police would have to turn off the stream for us. They'd just be like the dead bodies.
Yeah, you know, death by boys love. That's how I want to go out.
Oh, man. All right. Well, I unfortunately don't have a manga for you guys this week.
Cool. I have 3 Instagrams of the week for you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So because we're doing the history series and we're doing 3 shows, and I usually do like 1 Instagram per show, I thought instead of doing that, I would do 1 Instagram from each of the episodes of the first season. Okay. So I decided I would pick my favorite people from each episode. So the first Instagram that I'm going to give you, I'm going to have to spell out because I can't actually say it. It's CHIANGYUN and then the number 0. So it's kind of like Chiang Yuno, but it's not. Anyway, he plays Sidin in the first episode, My Hero. And I like his Instagram because he shows what new projects he's doing. Also, he has beautiful skin. Like, I don't know what his skincare regimen is. I don't know why he's doing these things, but he has gorgeous skin. And so I like looking at him. He's grown his hair out recently, which is a really good look for him.
Yeah, this long hair is nice.
Yeah, so I recommend following him. He was my fave of the pair in My Hero. My next recommendation is from Stay Away From Me, and that recommendation is Wooduke, and it's WU_DUKE, and he played Chen Ching. I thought he was super cute in the show. He still looks very much the same way. He's still giving you like former K-pop idol tease, and he has a really nice aesthetic to his Instagram. The photography on his Instagram is like pro level. It's not a bunch of like random selfies. He has like really beautiful pictures of cats on his Instagram. Really well done pictures of cats. But I really like his Instagram because I like the way it looks. And also, like I said, he was my favorite in the show. Now, he is not the one that went on to more success. Edison Song, who played Feng He, he actually has done a lot more shows since then. But, you know, I just like Woo Duke better. Sorry. He's my fave. And then my last recommendation, which is from Obsessed, obviously is going to be Yi Chen. Because he didn't look so fucking evil in that show. And his Instagram is Teddy like teddy bear, TEDDEY. No, TEDDY, not an EY, _JEN. So his name is Teddy Len, but I think he pronounced it Teddy Jen. Anyway, his entire Instagram is black and white. Don't know why, but his entire Instagram is filtered black and white. And I think that he just has a really pure energy, and that's why I'm recommending his Instagram. Like, when you look at the pictures, he just looks like somebody who's just out here enjoying life and experiencing things and going places and just living his best. It doesn't at all feel like it's connected with his career, which, you know, probably not the best move in terms of trying to like advertise yourself, but makes for a very real Instagram experience.
Right. I like them. Thank you. I just followed them all.
Yay! So those were my recommendations. I think those were all pretty decent Instagrams to check out. And yeah, I'm very pleased because I think that most of the history actors follow each other. So if you go to the Instagram of Chiang Yuno, that one, he has a picture of him with the two actors from Stay Away From Me. And I love those kind of across the cast interactions. You see a lot of those with like History 2 and History Make Our Days Count. There's a lot of cross sections there. So it's nice. So those are my 3 Instagrams of the day. At least one of them should tickle your fancy. They're all wildly different. At least one of them should suit what you're looking for.
Good.
So,
okay.
Next week. We will not be here next week. Both of us actually have like lives outside of YouTube. I don't know if you knew that. And our lives outside of YouTube require that we not be here with you guys. We're still anticipating doing History 2. This gives you a week-long extension, so you have plenty of time to get your homework turned in. But because we're having to take next week off, we have been debating about whether or not there will be a gap in our history coverage. And that is because we would really like to discuss Game Boys right after it finishes.
Right.
So
I feel like some of the options that we could do instead of history leading up to Game Boys would be, we actually did have a request to do The Pornographer. So I think there's The Pornographer and another show that you wanted to do that we could do like a dual episode on. That Fluke movie that was mentioned that Sam mentioned at the beginning. Maybe even like What the Duck. We could do the movie and then do like the series too.
I'm not doing the series What the Duck. I'm so sorry. I would love to,
Okay.
but I have been told ahead of time that What the Duck ends terribly,
Oh,
and that's just not my vibe. That's not my
oh,
scene.
never mind. Like it ends like it's actually like a bad ending, or it's like a sad ending.
One of the lead characters decides to become a monk rather than be gay.
Oh, I do not like that. Yeah. Okay. So we're
Yeah.
skipping that one then.
Yeah, sorry. So sorry. I would be down with the movie. So leave your comments down below if you'd like us to, when we reconvene, if you'd like us to do history or if you'd rather us do one of the shows. I'm down with watching My Bromance. I'm down with doing The Pornographer and Mood Indigo. In fact, don't even leave a comment. We're just going to do Mood Indigo and The Pornographer. And we need
Yeah.
to do them together because they basically are the same thing.
Okay.
So that will be what we do next. We'll be doing Mood Indigo and The Pornographer for those of you who've been waiting for it. And we'll kind of put a hiatus on history just because of the fact that we do have to do this week-long interruption for you guys. But it gives you plenty of time to catch up, and you're going to need that time because History Make Our Days Count is not something that you want to speed through. You want to watch it in its full length of time, in its full beauty. You want to soak up the ambiance. Like it is gorgeous. So take this extra time to go ahead and rush through History 2, watch all of Trapped in real time, and watch all of Make Our Days Count in real time. And by the time we get to talk about it, you will have no excuse because you will be given all the time to talk about it. Now, shows we're watching, because I'm actually watching a lot of shows, so I'm going to tell you about them. I'm watching Game Boys. Game Boys had their 10th episode this past Friday, and I shared with Mason that they shared a hospital sheeting kiss. And Mason hates it.
It's so dumb.
Now, if you have no context for it, it is stupid. Honestly, if you don't have any context. But it is one of those things that when we finally review Game Boys, I hope you'll see it for the innovation that it is, especially in these times. But yeah, like Game Boys they're not missing a step. I did not anticipate that Game Boys would be what it was when I first tuned in. The first episode does the series no justice. But even Agatha, who comments on our channel every once in a while, she was totally taken in by Game Boys. And so so I cannot wait to watch it with you guys. I'm also watching Hello Stranger, which is another show from the Philippines. Has two very, very good looking actors. One of the actors kind of looks like Baz from the first Two Moons, who played Wayo.
Yeah.
Yeah. So one of the actors looks like him, but more attractive. And then the other actor is like this really hot fuckboy. Oh my gosh. Like he's so fucking hot, and his fucking daddy is hot too. And like they take pictures together sometimes and just like, ooh, I'm ready to do an old man sandwich. Hello. But yeah. I'm watching Hello Stranger. And I'm going to possibly start watching Roommates, the series. I tried to watch Sakristan. Sakristan also ended with one of them becoming a monk, so fuck that fucking show. I finished Soul of Stage, which is a Vietnamese boys love. I'm not going to say that it's one of my favorites, but it does have a different plot than I've ever seen. It centers around the lives of a group of university students who are trying to do a revival of the play Romeo and Juliet, and dramas around the stage ensue. So if that's your bag, you might enjoy it. Also, the straight couple in the show is actually very cute. They're allowed to have rights. So those are the things that I'm watching right now, and I'm also watching The Shipper. And I need to say this because there's been a lot of debate about The Shipper. The Shipper is a much better show than it has any right to be, because it is fucking messy. Like the plot is all over the place. There's a lot of back and forth between characters that makes it kind of confusing to follow. And really, in all rights, it is not a boys' love. But Ohm is in it. And the gentleman who plays like the other main guy, his name is First. He does an excellent job. Jenny's in it. It is GMMTV actors. And I can say this without having to pinch myself. If GMMTV doesn't do anything else, they hire some of the best actors available for their shows.
Mm-hmm.
And The Shipper, their last episode, episode 11, really brought that home. Like the acting in episode 11, which is the penultimate episode, next week it ends, was top tier acting.
Good.
The story's still messy as shit, but Ohm did his fucking thing. First did his fucking thing. The girl who plays Pan was excellent. Jenny was more serious than I've seen her in a show before. Like, it was just really, really good. And it makes me more in the fact that this was the follow-up to Together, because it is not really a boys' love in a lot of ways.
Mm-hmm.
And so the audience got mad at that show for not being what they wanted the follow-up series from Together to be.
Right.
And it just really, I wish that GMMTV would have a little bit more foresight and think a little bit harder when they're doing these things, because Fridays are for gays. You don't put a non-BL show on Friday and expect the audience to carry over.
And now the replacement for Together is Together.
Yeah, after the shipper goes off, Still Together will be replacing it for what, 5 episodes?
Yeah, 5 episodes, I think.
Yeah, and it's just another fucking disaster for Ohm, and Ohm doesn't fucking deserve it. I'm so pissed off about the way GMMTV has handled his career that I just want to save him. They did not put He's Coming to Me on YouTube for sub. So there are tons of international fans who have never seen He's Coming to Me, which I would love to do He's Coming to Me on this channel. I think it's worth a whole episode, but it's so hard for us to review for you because we don't really have a reference for you to go watch it. But they didn't put it on their main channel for some godforsaken reason. They put him in a show where he's known for all of his boys love roles, has been doing boys love basically since he debuted as an actor, and they give him this show that queer baits audiences into thinking it's going to be boys love, and it is the smallest minuscule shred of a boys love. And I just want him to be free. I don't know where else he can go, because GMMTV is probably the most high-profile place he can be right now, but he fucking deserves better. And I hate to say this, I really kind of wish that he would quit GMMTV and sign a lengthy contract with Studio Wasabi. Studio Wasabi sucks in a lot of ways, but I feel like at the very minimum, they're not going to hide your output from international audiences, and you fucking deserve.
Right.
Because every single series besides one that Ohm has been in that is boys love related is not available through official links on YouTube. Make It Right 2, Make It Right on the Beach, Make It Right Live, none of those are official links on YouTube. He's Coming to Me, official links not on YouTube. His movie, Do the Movie, can't hardly find it anywhere legally for international audiences. This poor boy, his career has totally been stopped. He is the #1 boys love actor in Thailand. I said it. He is the #1 boys love actor in Thailand, and no one knows because he is given such short shrift when it comes to the way that they manage his career and access to him. I'm mad. I'm sorry. I'm mad.
It's okay. I spent the entire episode being mad.
I'm sorry. I get it for other people. It doesn't seem like that big a deal, but it's a big deal to me because, like, I feel like Ohm can do more. I feel like just from looking at his Instagram and how hard he works on his body to be able to be this leading man, I feel like the kid is capable of more, and he's being held back at every turn by mismanagement. So fuck you, GMMTV.
Hopefully his contract's up soon, or he gets something better. We'll see.
I hope he does. I hope he does. Maybe he'll become a huge movie star, or maybe he'll like make that leap into straights, and then he'll never have to think about boys love again. But I hope that he doesn't forget us completely, because we love you, Ohm. All right.
I think that wraps it about up. All right. So next week we are doing, or 2 weeks from now, we should be doing The Pornographer and Mood Ring. Is that what?
Mood Indigo. We will be watching both of them on Viki, but I do think that you can find it through other websites. But we will be watching it on Viki. If you're watching it on Viki with us, I highly recommend turning on the timed comments. Highly recommend. It's a good time.
All right, guys, we will see you in a few weeks. Adios.
Bye.